Hi, my name is Sue Scott. I'm an occupational therapist and I work at Dedicated Therapy. This is another video in the series called Living Therapeutically, and the series is about how to integrate movement, positioning, and stretching into your everyday life. Things that you are learning to do with your therapist and how to integrate them on a regular basis. So I like to start with the kitchen table. I spend a fair amount of time at the kitchen table. I eat here a couple times a day, and I read here sometimes, and sometimes I write little notes or letters. And my setup is, I really like this. It's 2 kitchen chairs with no armrests, and I can actually just kind of snug them up together, and it's almost like a bench. There's a little gap there, but nothing to worry about. And so in the beginning, I had shoulder surgery. I'm still recovering. I think I'm 12 weeks out now. But in the beginning, just putting my hand beside my thigh and getting it off my thigh was a good little stretch and pretty important. So I could keep my hand right here and eat or read, and I'd get a little bit of a stretch. When I was ready to move on to another stretch, which again, you should be checking and talking to your therapist about this, I used a little wedge that I have, and like this, I put this little wedge here. I have this nifty little pillow that I love to put under my elbow, and I put that there. So my elbow's lightly supported. My hand is on this wedge. That was my first little stretch as I did things right here, drinking my coffee, reading, eating. Over time, I think you can see this, I started to put my hand beside my thigh. So I have this triangle wedge blocking my hand coming in. And again, just this little movement, I'm getting a little bit of a stretch, and that felt good for me. All of these stretches should just be very light. They should never be painful. And I recommend you talk to your therapist about it to see if you have the range of motion. Another thing that was pretty helpful, I wanted to get my arm up on the table, and in the beginning, this was too high for me. And so what I did is I took, you could use a wheelchair cushion if you had one. Back this up. And I just used this kind of oversized pillow, which is pretty big, but it actually worked for me. It raised me up 4 or 5 inches, and I could get my elbow on the table, snug up close. This is a really good position for when you're eating or reading, and it works great. Another thing that I would do is I could put my hand beside this flower pot, and so now my elbow is closer to my body than my hand is. If there was a line right here, my hand is further out. That's external rotation, so that's helpful. And I would eat and read and drink my coffee. So last thing I want to say is, because I am always working towards external rotation, when I bring my hand on and off this table, even if I have to use my other hand, I want to go out. I don't want to pull my hand in and up, because that's the easy movement. So I hope these tips are helpful, and I hope you have a great day.